Alright, so I'd like you to give these cards a shuffle. Shuffle them as much as you want to. So the audience member is allowed to shuffle the cards in any way they want. Now, what I'm going to have you do in a moment is I'm going to have you reach over and cut off a group of cards like this. Then you're going to look at the bottom card, and you'll keep the cards close to you like this. So you'll cut off a group of cards, you'll look at the bottom card, and then you'll hold the cards against your chest like this, okay? Makes sense? So I'll turn away, they do that. They cut off a group of cards, they look at the bottom card, and then they hold it against their chest. Now, once I've turned back around, I ask them to take their cards and give them a cut. So they take their cards and they cut them like this. And then I ask someone else to lift off some cards here, and they drop theirs in the middle. Of course, the only thing I can know about your card right now is that it's somewhere towards the middle of the deck. So why don't you give the cards a cut and complete the cut? But of course, I watched you cut, so I could still know approximately where your card is. So I'll look away, and while I will look away, why don't you give the cards a cut and complete the cut? Now, you've probably heard of people who can memorize the order of cards very quickly. It's something they do in memory challenges around the world. So I thought I'd give you an example. I'll try to memorize the order of these cards as quickly as I can. Okay, done. So at this point, I look away, and the person who I'm performing for is asked, I ask them to go through the deck, take their card out and move it anywhere else, and then square up the deck. So in other words, if they picked the King of Clubs, they would take this card and they would move it somewhere else, and then they would square up the deck and put it back down. So, unfortunately, I can't really do this, perform this so much for the camera because, well, I have to move the card for them. So, they take their card out, and they move it somewhere else, and then they square the deck back up. And then when I turn around, I look through the deck and I say, you know, I'm noticing that you took your card from in between the 10 of spades and the King of Hearts. You put it in between the 7 of spades and the 6 of clubs because your card is the Ace of Hearts. Now, here's how that worked. They were allowed to shuffle the deck, and as I took the cards back, I do what's called an all-around square-up glimpse. I have the cards in end grip, and I turn them up like this so I can see the bottom card, the 7 of Hearts. I hold the cards in dealing position, and then they turn around. So I'm just doing this, and that allows me to see what the bottom card is. Then I regrip the deck for an overhand shuffle and shuffle the bottom card up to the top. So now the 7 of Hearts is on top. Then I ask them, I explain they're going to cut off some cards and hold them, look at the bottom card, and then hold them against their chest like this. So I turn away and they do that. So in this case, their card's the 5 of clubs. When I turn around, I tell them to give their cards a cut. Now, of course, when they cut their cards, the 7 of Hearts is on top, the 5 is on the bottom. So after this cut, if the 7 of Hearts is here, the next card above it is the 5 of clubs because it was in the bottom. And so after this cut, it is moved directly above the key card. Of course, that'll be below the key card when the cards are face up. So if this is the key card, the next one is their card. They drop their cards back in the middle of these, and of course they can cut the cards as many times as they want because it doesn't matter. And then you spread the cards out and you explain that you're going to go through and memorize the cards. And all I'm doing here is I'm just looking for my key card, so I see it's here, which means I see, oh, their card must be the 5 of clubs. And all I have to remember is that their card's the 5 of clubs. I turn away, they of course take their card out and move it elsewhere and square everything up. Now, all that I do is I look through the deck, pretend to concentrate, and I say, oh, you took your card from in between the 7 of Hearts and the 10 of clubs. Of course, I know this because the 7 was the key card. Then I say, and you put it in between the Jack of clubs and the 2 of spades because your card is the 5 of clubs. When you ask them to move the card, you can always just ask them to ask someone else to remember the 2 cards that were on either side of it so that you get that revelation as well. So someone, if they were looking, they can remember the 7 and the 10. So they can confirm that you were indeed correct. So anyway, that's called Moe's Move a Card, and it's a really, really great, pretty simple trick that you can do with any deck of cards. All you need is a tiny little bit of table space. You don't even need a mat like this. Anyway, hope that helps.